I was surprised by this one, Perloff. And it's come to us courtesy of the Dallas Cowboys. Shall we get to it? Here's a little Cowboy Quickie for you. Okay, this one was a little surprising. SI.com has like special fan sites devoted to each fan base, fan nation. Mike Fisher has covered the Cowboys for a long time, since the 90s, writes for this site. He's reporting today that an NFL source told CowboysSI.com that the Cowboys are, quote-unquote, intrigued by Ohio State quarterback CJ Stroud. The source says, I don't know about the how, like how he'd get to Dallas, but Dallas is absolutely intrigued by Stroud. Now, what are we supposed to do with this information? Because obviously the person wants this out there. So Dak Prescott is actually in line for a contract extension. Could help with some cap situations too. Could just be smart business. We got Jerry saying that, you know, he wants Mike McCarthy to coach as long as Tom Landry and wanted Dak Prescott to retire a Cowboy. But CJ Stroud is like a, if not play now, play very soon. He's not like a developmental guy. He's someone who maybe sits for a year, half a season at the most, and probably not at all. And he could be the second quarterback taken off the board. How in the heck are the Dallas Cowboys going to be in play at all for CJ Stroud? And is that a good allocation of their draft resources?
What are we talking about here? Yeah, I mean, listen, the Philadelphia Eagles would like Jalen Carter of Georgia, but guess what? They're not going to get him in the draft.
Well, are they intrigued by him, though? Because
I don't even know what this headline means. The Cowboys draft 27th, and Stroud, according to all mock drafts, has gone by 5. So they're going to trade up 22 spots to get CJ Stroud with what?
It would cost you drafts from now to Kingdom Come to get that high up.
Unless you think the Texans really want Dak Prescott. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what this is about.
You want to throw Dak Prescott into like a total rebuild?
Well, I think they're 90% rebuild. They do have some talented young players. No, it's not, I'm talking about from the Dallas perspective. Yeah. How are they going to get up for Stroud? What do they have?
I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to start throwing players into trades like that. And I don't know why the Cowboys, they should be only trying to add to the roster right now. You can't be taking things away.
Yeah, no, it's a weird fit. It's a little hard to buy. Yeah, they're intrigued by him, but...
What does it mean?
Yeah, I mean, back in my single days, I was intrigued by Gisele Bundchen.
Yeah. Was she intrigued by you?
Most certainly not. And I, unless I'm completely missing something, Stroud falls for reasons we have no idea why. This is a non-starter, right?
That is your Cowboys Quickie.
I do like this idea. When the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round, they had Carson Wentz. I like the idea of getting a second-round quarterback for Dallas, somebody who could pressure Prescott, maybe be available when his contract runs out in a reasonable way, or be a good backup. I do not like this idea of mortgaging everything to get up in the top 5.
It's bizarre, unless somehow, you're right, unless they're looking to trade Prescott, which I don't think they are. I mean,
and I'm not sure Prescott has that kind of value because someone has to pay him a ton.
Well, like I think he has value. Listen, if Derek Carr has value, I think that Dak Prescott has value. Definitely.
So Jones is looking for $45 million. Yeah, somebody's going to pay Dak.
Definitely.
But also the other thing is they don't feel like they're ready to start a rookie and get rid of Dak completely. If that's your only way to get up there.
It feels like we have our cake and want to eat it too situation.
Okay, how about this scenario?
Yeah.
Remember last year, all these quarterbacks were in the top 10 of the mock drafts?
Yeah.
Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, who actually did go in the first round. What if this is all smokescreens and none of the quarterbacks who we think are going to go in the top 10 are actually going in the top 10, and a guy like CJ Stroud falls a little lower? Then, if that's true, then that is much more intriguing.
Okay, I mean, considering the career that CJ Stroud has had,
right,
and considering how he looked in the college football playoff, do you think he's falling?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, Haskins had a better career, and he went 15.
Yeah, and Haskins, may he rest in peace, didn't end up panning out very much as an NFL quarterback. Listen, is it possible they drop and maybe Dallas is just sort of, waiting in the wings. But if so, why would this source want to get this out now? Unless it's to screw over Dallas, and create headlines and, create some agita with Dak or whatever.
It's February. It's complete. The beginning of lying season in the NFL. Who knows? I think it's really hard to figure out what's real.
But again, I want to make sure we're smart about this. This is not Twitter user 5789.
Right.
This is Mike Fisher, who's covered the team for a long time.
But reports, lying season means is what GMs get out to reporters, things that they want to say that are completely fake. This could be somebody trying to get at Dak, but it could mean a million things. It's really hard to interpret these reports. The other thing, too, is it just doesn't seem realistic. CJ Stroud, who's 21 years old, he doesn't really fit where Dallas, Jerry Jones is 81. Is he going to rebuild at quarterback right now?
The other part, too, is I understand that Prescott threw a lot of interceptions at the end of the season. He looked great against Tampa and then looked terrible against San Francisco.
But so did Hurts didn't look good against San Francisco either, Jalen Hurts.
I don't think that what we saw from Prescott, you either think he's a winner at this point and can lead you to a Super Bowl or you don't. I don't think we're at a place where Dak Prescott is all of a sudden going to get so much better or so much worse. I think he just is who he is. So if the Cowboys are going to move on, maybe they feel like someone else has a higher ceiling. Because Prescott, again, beyond the interceptions at the end of the season, which did not really impact their playoff standings at all, the Eagles were winning that division going away. Did they really kill you? No. I mean, I think by all accounts, he put together a pretty good season. Yeah,
I mean, it was certainly a letdown from last year where he was...
Why they lost in the second round this time as opposed to the first.
Well, last year his individual season was remarkable. Yeah. He had gigantic numbers the year before. These interceptions came out of nowhere. That actually is a little weird. He's never been an interception quarterback his whole life.
I don't think that all of those interceptions were on him either. We talked about guys dropping passes.
Also, they got rid of Amari Cooper and didn't bring in anyone. So to me, CJ Stroud signals rebuild, and I can't see the Cowboys ever rebuilding. So Jerry does like his shiny objects, and maybe he will get a quarterback, but feels weird. Do you think it's possible that there's a really big-name quarterback left over by the 20s? I've been reading mock drafts all day, every day.
I know.
And all the quarterbacks are gone by 8. They're all gone by 8 or 9.
Well,
CJ Stroud is not falling below 6 in any mock draft.
Yeah, but that's also a good way to get people to read your mock draft.
Yeah, do you put the quarterbacks in there? Well, they used to underrate the quarterbacks, and they'd all fly. Baker Mayfield was not a top 5 pick in any mock draft.
Yeah.
And then it turned out the NFL thought differently. Now they go now it's swung too far. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of CJ Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young. I don't know what to make of any of it. So maybe Dallas gets lucky.
Do you think this is a where there's smoke, there's fire?
No.
Do you think this is the Cowboys have been thinking about this for a while? Maybe they feel they've seen Dak's ceiling and they need somebody who they think will have a higher ceiling.
I wish I could bet on CJ Stroud not wearing the star next year. If there was a market for that, I would feel very confident putting a lot of money on it.
I don't know if you can get odds on that specifically, but
yeah, I just don't think this is happening. Do you?
I don't, but there's something to the timing of this too. If the Cowboys were really looking at CJ Stroud, you don't put this out now. We haven't even gone to the combine yet. We're not even into draft season.
Could there
fully.
just be a ploy about their negotiations with
Dak's
extension?
Great. So you want to tick them off? I'd love to go with an extension.
It's just about
I like that one.
We can look elsewhere. We have the draft capital.
If you play hardball with us, then we're gonna go draft your replacement.
An extension, but you're gonna have to take a big time per year pay cut.
There's no way they're asking him to There's no way they're asking him to take a pay cut. This isn't
like that.
Well, no. I mean, if they extend him, he's probably gonna take less per year, so it's less of a hit against the cap.
Yeah, but he'll get all the money.
Yeah.
I don't think you ask quarterbacks to take pay cuts. You ask linebackers and safeties to take pay cuts, right? People don't ask. They ask running backs to take pay cuts.
The problem is the Cowboys do a terrible job of negotiating because they laud their players in the public. Stephen Jones, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. We can't wait to give him more money and extend him for the next 10 years. Dak's agents are yes, give me more.
I think the thing with the Cowboys and Dak is they want to make sure they have that out with the extension. I don't think they want to get stuck with Dak longer. You know what I'm saying? I know they do. They definitely want to extend him to get that cap number down so they can do something this year.
Yeah.
But they don't want 8 years of Dak. That's just a lie. They want to at least have flexibility, I'd imagine.
I would think so. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. No, you got a lot of Cowboys fans out there. You read this, are you now intrigued? Like, maybe CJ Stroud. Maybe the future is coming a little sooner than any of us thought. I mean, you think about it with Prescott. It all kind of snowballed, right? You take him in a late round. Romo gets hurt. He steps in. He's excellent. And then remember, that was a contentious contract negotiation once Romo retired. And it was, we want him for 5 years. He only wanted 4, whatever it was. Dak ends up going to the multiple franchise tags. Then he gets hurt. Then they realize, oh, we really need this guy because look at the alternative. Then he gets paid. It's like it all just sort of snowballed, one thing on top of the other. And before you know it, Dak Prescott's been your quarterback for like the last 7 years.
Yeah, but
6 years.
They love him, though. I mean, Jerry loves him. How about a Hendon Hooker who needs a year or two? Let him sit under Dak and create a Dak situation.
Yeah.
Draft somebody in the second, third, or fourth round who turns to be the next. Romo was undrafted. So Jerry thinks he can win with lower round quarterbacks. I don't know why he would move up. Find the next Dak Prescott. That's a great philosophy. Easier said than done.